Hello everyone, my name's Tim O'Brien. I'm the proposer for a project called No Code Smart Contracts in Fund 6. A little bit about myself, I'm ex-Googler and founder of QModeler, a developer of a no-code development platform that targets blockchain. So rather than talk about no code, I'll just do this little example. So on the left you see palette, and it's got 3 icons, and the user is dragging these icons into the center artboard and connecting them, and then you will see them connecting ports. And while he's doing this, he's essentially building a full blockchain application that in the end we'll see this exported into a smart contract. And this is how we build smart contracts using a no code. So on the right you'll see a guidance system, and we'll go into that more. So now we're connecting and connecting the application, and we say fix it. We see that here we have multiple ports, and by clicking and doing what the guidance tells it to do, we've connected the right ports. But how did we know how to connect the right ports? Right here we'll see that, okay, we have only 3 components, but we do have the ability to connect components in multiple ways. So from 3 components we can have many applications, dozen, maybe over 100 applications can be made only from 3 components. And our product has toolboxes with many more components, dozens and soon hundreds of components. So how do we actually determine what the components are, what the user should build, and so they don't make mistakes? So we use something called temporal logic. Temporal logic is nothing more than a logic statement. It sort of like describes what has to do, but gives a dimension of time. So you describe what should happen and what shouldn't happen, and if you collect enough of requirements, you do a good job of collecting requirements, then our product can guide you and tell you when you've connected something in the wrong way. So here's an example of temporal logic application. It's a simple build ship process, and here's another one. It describes a temporal logic around deciding to ship on multiple options, FedEx, mail, etc. Each on the below we see that we call it the DNA. It's the unique temporal logic description for this application. So let's talk a little bit about pebbling. What is pebbling? Well, pebbling is a board game, 14 and up, and it's also the subject of a lot of research because it happens to have a property called being Turing complete. And Turing complete means that it's equivalent to any language you know, Java, Python, whatever. So that's a very good property to have. As you see, we move pebbles from registers to registers. We call the squares operations, and the round white objects registers. So what is pebbling? Just to sum, it's Turing complete language. Again, equivalent to any programming language you might know. It's a board game, and it's also the subject of hundreds and hundreds of research papers because it has this unique property of being Turing complete. It also happens to be how we perform core logic on blockchain smart contracts. So what's valuable about it? It's arbitrarily divisible. It's easy to compose. It's very easy to formally verify, and we can do it almost in real time. And in fact, our guidance system is run by formal verification. And data is local to the operations, so we can now decide what operations need to run on the blockchain and what run off-chain, and then we can use off-chain and on-chain in a very creative fashion without losing any of the transparency or any of the advantages of using blockchain. Best of all, none of the stringy if-else logic that creates so many bugs and is so unreliable. So what is this project about? So this project is about building a small adapter on Plutus that will let us use pebbling in order to determine the logic that runs on Plutus. So what does that mean? That means basically any of these applications that we design on QModeler that we see on the left, we can have a drop down and deploy them to Plutus. We'll do a little small demo here. So on the upper right hand side, you'll see we have a selection of Ethereum. We can decide the name, and we'll drop down here and select the account that's used to deploy. We can hit deploy, and it deploys for us. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll just give a last minute pitch here. I think it's really, really valuable for Cardano because it can bring instantly hundreds and thousands of applications because we simply can modify one of these projects that we see on the artboard here. We can build entirely new projects. And you don't have to be a coder. So we're now pioneering the idea of no-code hackathons, where we bring in groups to solve major issues of the day, like food poisoning and sustainability, cold chain, etc. So it can really be great to engage the entire community on something that's very, very important to solve. And I think it'd be an excellent use of your vote. So please vote for us. Thank you.